The first anime that I ever watched was at Bruce's house, if you remember Bruce, and it was like in grade 9 of high school or the summer of grade 9, and he showed me Sword Art Online, and
That's your first anime?
yeah, well, I only watched 2 episodes of it at his house, and then I went home and I wasn't really feeling Sword Art Online for some reason. And the first anime that I finished was Golden Time, which is like a
Oh, Golden
romance
Time's
show.
fire, bro.
And I
It's
remember
fire.
messaging Lucas like throughout the week because I was so surprised that I could just binge this show because I'd never watched anything that much before. That was how I got into it, and then from Golden Time I jumped to a few. I finished Sword Art, and I can't remember what I did after that. But
That's surprising. Actually, okay, so here's the question. Does Pokemon count?
oh, like in childhood I watched like Naruto and Bleach and stuff on TV, but I didn't even know what anime was.
Okay, so the first anime you watched when you knew it was an anime,
It was probably
that was,
Bleach.
and you knew Bleach was an anime. So then, what's
No,
the first anime you finished was Golden
yeah,
Time,
Golden
not
Time.
Sword Art Online.
Golden Time was the first one. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I was like, because I knew that people got into anime for romance shows, and I kind of wanted to, I don't know, get hit with some feels. Golden Time wasn't the best show. I think even it being my only show, I gave it like a 6 or a 7, even though I didn't have any other experience.
It's good. It just has. It's one of those kind of romance stories where it's just like frustrating. You're just like, what the fuck is
Yeah,
going on here?
for sure.
That's how. It's just kind of weird. There's like a lot of different like aspects tied in and like character relationships that were just so complicated.
Yeah.
There was a lot at the start, but it had a pretty decent ending at least I think. But I think you gave it.
All right,
And
my first anime, I guess, was Pokemon.
Oh, we're
Uh,
going back that far.
no, I'm
Okay.
gonna count. Okay, first anime I finished, Death Note. That's my first anime I finished.
damn,
Because
you started off at
I
the top of a hill.
I really did. I started off strong. I went slightly downhill. I think after. I think my second anime I finished is Angel Beats, which is not bad at all. But no, yeah, I guess the first anime I finished is Death Note, and I think like I don't think my taste has changed. I guess because I rewatched Death Note like 3 months ago, and it holds up still to this day. I enjoyed it just as much as the first time.
Yeah, Death Note's amazing. I read the manga and it's almost the exact same story, but I still just wanted to go through it again with a little extra detail.
Does it? Is it worth it? Like, should I get it?
You shouldn't buy it.
I'll just read it.
Yeah, you could read it online, and then yeah, then it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. So I didn't watch Golden Sun. I watched
All
Death
right,
Note and Pokemon.
Lucas, what about you? I haven't heard this story.
I will say something like Tyreese. Like the first anime I watched in general was Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon. I don't know which one came first, but one of those came first because it was always on one of those TV channels like 4Kids or like YTV or something
Bro,
like that. You know what I'm
YTV.
saying? Yeah. And they also had it like midnight, like Naruto at like midnight or some shit sometimes.
Yeah,
And that was like my first experience with that as well. But the first anime like I genuinely got into, sat in my room, watched from beginning to end is Clannad. And it was once, yeah, like some of the to Quinn, Bruce recommended it. He wanted me to watch it, and I was like, bet. So I watched it, and then that's how the story goes, pretty much.
What
yeah.
grade is that?
That was like probably grade 9 or 10, because I knew Bruce since middle school. So I don't know. It was really early on.
What about you, Noah?
One second, I'm just eating this right now. So yeah, I'll be honest, yo, because Lucas didn't really tell me. I kind of told him a couple days ago when I was on this bitch for the first time, but kind of similar to a lot of you guys, to be honest. Like first shit I really watched that I didn't like. I mean, I didn't really know because it doesn't really seem like that when you're a kid. But like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, I really loved that when I was a kid, but I didn't really see it as that. You know what I mean? It was just a show I watched. You know what I mean? It was fun. Um, but that was when I lived in the like Canada. But when I went to the States, it was a little bit more easier to watch it. Because like I started watching Naruto. That was like the first thing I really kind of fell in love with. But at night, like Lucas had said, like at midnight ish, if you go on Adult Swim, I'd be watching stuff like Bleach, One Piece, Death Note, stuff like that. But I didn't really know what it was. That was actually around the time when I got my first Shonen Jump. Um, and I did collect those for a while. But when I came back to the States, I kind of came away from it because it's not as easily available. So I kind of drifted away from that, and I didn't really find anime until like probably like the first year out of high school, and that was when I actually really finished my first stuff because like my little brother would always talk so much shit about Naruto. He'd be like, "Yo, Naruto's a bitch. He's like this, this, this." So I'm like, you know what, bro? I watched the top to bottom. Started off with Naruto, finished up Shippuden. That was the first stuff I really watched. Um, but then after that, you know what I mean. I watched Bleach, Death Note, stuff that I always saw when I was a kid, and I kind of grew into that. But back then, all I really cared about was like fan service stuff like that. Like that's why I have High School DxD on my list. Like I love High School DxD. You know what I mean? I don't really care. I really like the fan service stuff. But now as I'm growing, my tastes have 100% changed because I like stuff like Black Lagoon. I like the dark anime with like murder or like sad undertones and like you know what I mean. A lot like drama, I guess you could say. But still, romance is always amazing. Of course, some good fight scenes are always great. You know what I mean? I definitely changed a lot, I'd say.
Yeah, I think I started a little bit the opposite of you. Like you said, you were into fan service and edgy stuff. Like I avoided that with a passion because I was so worried. Like, what if somebody opens the door and sees this on my computer or whatever?
No shame. You can't have shame, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever shook that. So I haven't watched a lot of shows with etchy and stuff.
Bro, I dove right in. Angel Beats was my second, bro. Rosario Vampire was my third. Easily. Dove right into that.